Alright, I did the unboxing of the Hewitt Homeschool Pass Test. I just uploaded that this morning. If you haven't ever taken it and you want to kind of see what it's like, you can go watch that video. This video will be how to read the results once they're mailed back to you. While that video was uploading, I went and dug out my daughter's results from 3 years ago from her 3rd grade so that I could kind of show you how to read them. It comes with directions on how to read each thing, but if it's your first time testing or if you're new to homeschooling, it can be a little intimidating seeing all these numbers, but they're really easy to read. And I'm just going to go through them real quick and show you how to read them. Alright, the first score, you're going to have each subject that you tested will be on a different form, a different paper. But it'll all come together. Your first score you're going to see is the raw score. Your raw score will be the first one on the line. This is her reading for 3rd grade. It is right here. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's so blurry. So your raw score is how many you got correct out of the total possible. So she got 29 out of 44, and this is for reading. Language 44 out of 60, and math 37 out of 48. So that raw score is just basically how many you got right out of the total possible answers. The next number on the page will be the percent that you got right, and how they figure your percent is how you get percent for anything. They take the number you got correct and divide it by the number possible or total possible. So on her reading, she got 29 out of 44. That's 66% right. The next score is your RIT, and on this page it gives you the RIT or RIT, I don't know what they call it, is basically an average of what your grade level should be doing, but I wouldn't put too much thought one way or another if it's really high or if it's really low. It's just kind of an average that they give. So for grade 3, the average for reading is 208, math 204, and language 204. And of course it goes up with each level. So if you test every year, your score should kind of go up every year, or your child's score. And it just kind of gives you an idea of where they stand on average according to Hewitt. Alright, the next 2 numbers are what everybody wants to know, is the national percentile. Where does my child stand compared to everyone else? Well, the first number you're going to see is the Hewitt percentile and national percentile. Okay, the difference in these two is the Hewitt percentile is only Hewitt's testers are in that. So if your child tested low, like mine did, she got a 16 percentile on the Hewitt for reading. But there could have been 100 kids that tested in this level, or there could have been 1,000. You just don't know. So I don't like to look at that number. I prefer to look at the national average. I mean the national percentile, because that includes other testing besides Hewitt. It includes another test, and it gives a national average, and there are more students who test on a wider scale. So she got a 16% on the Hewitt and a 50 on the national. So, and how to interpret that is, she did 50% on the national. That means 50% of the students that tested nationally had a lower score than hers, and 49% had a score higher than hers. But like math, her national is a 97. So 97% of the students scored below her, and 2-3% scored higher than her. So on the percent right, going back to that, where you did the total right divided by the total possible, if they say that if they score 30% right, and that's here, like hers was 66, they say if it's at 30 or lower, then the test was probably too difficult for that child, or if they got a 90% or better, then that level that you tested on was probably too easy, and you may want to retest them on another level. Alright, let's see. Oh, the last thing is your, what they have on each one of these is goals. Down here at the bottom, it covers what you did on the test and what your goal, if you hit your goal at an average or below or above average, and it tells kind of what was tested. So like a goal in language for her was grammar, and you can see she did average. Alright, but if you go down and look at composition, which is writing, she scored high on the high end of that. So and each one of these will give you kind of a what to do or some tips on how to improve, or things to work on for the next time you do test. So on average, her thing for grammar, it says continue growth process by providing practice exercises. Give student the opportunity to review and ask questions. I'm sure that's a generic statement for everyone's test who tests average in that goal. On the high, on the one where she did high for composition, it said provide student with enrichment materials which challenge his or her composition skills. For example, keep a daily journal or write a story. So it just gives you ideas on how they can improve, even if they're on the high end. It kind of a challenge, gives you a challenge to and push them to do even better. But anyway, that's pretty much the basics on how to read it. Of course, like I said, there's on the front page is the how to read the results. I blacked out our address and things, but anyway, that's the PASS test, Personalized Achievement Summary System, and from Hewitt Homeschool.